Yo, what's going on, Exiles? Welcome to another build video. Today, I'm going to show you my build I've been working on while we all wait for the next patch in Path of Exile 2 0.2.0. And today, I'm going to show you my Flicker Strike. And as you can see in the title, I am playing it on Stormweaver. And there is a couple of reasons. But first thing, just some showcase here, tier 16 map. This was a day 2, I think, playing this build so far. Now, I was level 90, I believe, in this footage, or 91, don't even know. But I did not realize I didn't finish Ascendancy. I have only 4 points, so I'm still missing 4 points, which would buff this build quite a lot, especially on single target. But in general, how Flicker Strike works, you need power charges for Flicker to, attack more targets. And the smoothest option for power charge gaining, I've tried many options. I spent a full day, like 8 or 10 hours, a lot of currency, testing out different setups for power charges through Combat Frenzy and Resonance, passive in the skill tree, freezing mobs, stuff like that, and some other shenanigans. The best option is definitely 100% gaining power charges through Profane Ritual. I have that ability set up on both weapon sets. Now, during fight, when you kill mobs, you have corpses. You can no problem use Profane Ritual, as you can see me use it in the footage right now, the little purple circle. So what it does is, it has a duration when you cast it on a corpse. And when the duration is, already out, you're gonna get the, you can see the animation of the blue balls or souls coming to you. Not this, which you can see, but that's like the animation of the power charge traveling to you, basically, right? So you wanna stack skill effect reduction for it to last, the shortest amount. So that's why you will see me in the passive tree, pick some of the points there. But yeah, that's why we use it on weapons at 1 during the fight on corpses. But if you're waiting before at the boss, or if you just don't have any corpses around, I have it on weapons at 2 and I use it on minions. I will explain the setup later. And before we get to the boss, I have a full build planner on Mobilytics and with fully explained stuff, how we combine it with full gear as well. What you should look for is a stat priority, alternative setup, skill details, how you describe the Profane Ritual, passives and all that stuff, Atlas tree as well. And besides that, I also have Path of Building over here on the screen, which is on, let me go back to the planner. You can find the Path of Building right here up top on the right side, the full code, and just copy code and paste it in Path of Building, which would be import export right here. Then you would just copy it here. Paste it here and import. But here you can, play around with configurations and whatnot. What you can test out yourself, what would be the best. Now we have like 2 shock stacks, but I went with 85. Right now, I'll show in the boss later or in a second here what kind of debuffs we have running on the target, which is pretty insane. But at full POB, I might play around some more with passives, like we are kind of missing this Deadly Force, which is amazing for damage. But I set it for a level 92, which I'm about to hit soon. But it's up to you. Like, you can remove these points and put them for more damage if you don't mind waiting for the charges from Profane Ritual. So this is like personal preference, but yeah. Let's talk about the Ascendancy, by the way, all right, which I'm missing in the footage. So Stormweaver, you can have double shock on the target, which is this right here. Shock is the strongest debuff in the game. I feel like you deal a lot of damage. With me right now, my shock is 85%, so I deal 85% more damage to the target, which is ridiculous. Mind you, I have nothing in magnitude, in shock magnitude, which is, yeah, I wish I could have more points, because there are pretty good ones, such as over here, with even mana regen, which is not bad. And another one is right here, which is amazing. This gives you also crit chance to shocked enemies. So this would be wonderful. So this was the other one. The other one here is Shaper of Storms. All your hits, physical, fire, cold, whatever you want to call it, all contributes to shock chance. So you have shock debuff every time on the targets, which is crazy. So this is what I have on the footage. The ones I'm missing is we have exposure through Charge Staff, which is right here. Lightning exposure, which we magnify more with the strip away. And you can get it even stronger through Scouring Winds here by another 20%, which is pretty insane. So that's more damage. And the last one here, I go with Arcane Surge. Arcane Surge gives you cast speed and mana regen. So it's better for mana sustain, which we don't really struggle with. Maybe on bosses if you cannot kill it in one go, if you don't crit. But Arcane Surge, the cast speed, if you guessed it right, it is for Profane Ritual to have even better and smoother experience with getting charges during the fight. Because in high density areas like Breach or Delirium, you can get really, you can get basically owned by mobs, stun locked, whatever. And if you don't get power charges in time because of the animations of both casting and then waiting for the ritual to proc on the corpses, right? So this is coming in super handy, quality of life, big one for basically faster mapping and everything. So this is just a quick overview in the POB. Back to the footage and back to the little boss. So here you can see me getting the power charges on my weapon set through the minions. Casting rituals on top of them, so I do it twice to get 7 charges for charge staff up top, and then I do it another 2 times to get power charges for the flicker. And I will show you, I'll stop it in the middle here. So this took me only 1 flicker to kill bosses. This is a fully juiced, Atlas points, fully maxed out bosses with a +1 difficulty. And this is without proccing the I think this is without Volt-like Mark. Volt-like Mark makes your shock. That's the only magnitude I run on this build. So this one goes up to 50 and this one goes to like 35. So we also have, as you can see, exposure from charge staff, and we have the curse conductivity through cast and shock. And here you can see the beautiful full setup of debuffs where the real damage comes from or triggers. So 50%, 35, this is 85% shock, more damage increase. Reducing the resistances by 48% and then another 26% on top of the Ascendancy. And I'm not even sure what's the resistances on these bosses in maps, no idea, honestly. And if you go into POB, I didn't really figure out like the real number, but yeah, anyways, this is what it looks like. And I got a daily divine orb from this boss. Let's go again without any pause for how it looks in full action. I literally just pressed 1 button on this boss, and as you can see, by the way, Flicker Strike and a support gem. Flicker Strike is a quality with a percentage where it says it has a chance of not consuming power charges, and we use Perpetual Charge support gem, which also has a chance of not consuming charges. So this happens quite often. I'm at 55% chance of not consuming charges when I use Flicker Strike. Obviously, Gemling would be much higher. That's why Gemling is considered to be the best. But everyone's stat stacks on Gemling. And for me, that's too easy and broken and boring. That's why I picked Stormweaver. And yeah, above the stat stacking, that's another alternative you can go with on this build if you want to. I recommend stacking Strength, but I'll talk about it more in the gear. I'll take you in the game, and let's take a look at the detailed setup. So first thing, the gem setup. Flicker Strike, we go with Ambush. This is more multiplicative crit chance against enemies with full life. We always use Flicker on full life enemies, be it in the maps or bosses you could see. So right now I'm buffed, I'm 62% crit chance, but in Path of Building, you can see later that it's 100% fully capped out. Concentrated effect for more damage. We don't really care about AoE because this is like single target damage or ability, but you travel between targets. Lightning Infusion, because we used the gloves with a lightning damage here that scales from intelligence, but I mainly took these gloves for the attack speed. I was looking for how to increase the animation, the wind up animation for Flicker Strike, and then between targets, and this helped a lot. I didn't want to use this initially. I wanted to use this without Pillars of the Cage God, without stat stacking, and without these gloves, because it's too meta, too OP, too broken. Might most likely get nerfed in next patch, but hey, it's still here. I don't think attack speed will get touched here. Maybe it will, but whatever. I think it's still gonna be a good piece. Next up, we got Perpetual Charge. Like I explained, there's a chance to not remove charges. I believe it shows right here. There we go, 55% chance to not remove them. Last one is Close Combat for more multiplicative damage. You can also go Primal Armament, but in POB, this one came out top in terms of DPS. Charge Staff is a buff we add always before Flicker Strike, because we want to add the we want to proc exposure on the target, which is reducing target's resistance. You can strip away to even amplify the exposure. Primal Armament, I'm not even sure if it does anything, because this does not show any difference in POB, so I just threw it in there, why not? Overcharge for more excuse me, this is the magnitude of shock, my bad, this right here, which is pretty crazy. And persistence for the ability to last as long as possible. You want to quality this as well. Oh, and this is another ability you need power charges for. So sorry if I forgot to explain that. But yeah, with this quality and this gem, there is over a minute duration on this buff, so that's very good. Right now I have 7 power charges. This is I would say ideal. But yeah, next up we got Herald of Thunder for AoE procs. We got Magnified Effect for more AoE. We got Lightning Penetration for even more damage. Iterate for damage gain. When you kill shock targets, you get lightning damage. And you also want to go with Shock Siphon. This one is amazing for energy shield recovery. Helps tremendously, in breach and high density areas. Elemental Focus here for more damage because we don't really care about applying elemental ailments, which is shock. We don't really care about that. So pretty good damage. If you don't have full 6 links or 5 links, you can always remove the gem. So you can remove Primal Armament here. It kind of depends what you have access to, right? In here, I would probably remove Close Combat. I will remove Close Combat from here. From Herald of Thunder, you probably don't need, let's take a look, Penetration at first, I think. You probably don't need it right away, or Shock Siphon. It kind of depends if you want sustain or damage. Wind Dancer, another aura we have here for evasion gain. So Clarity for mana regen, Precision for accuracy. We don't need this. I'm already capped out without this gem, but this is more against evasive enemies. We got Blind as well. Blind is amazing debuff on the targets. It reduces accuracy on the enemies and evasion. So this is amazing. By the way, it all depends on your spirit. I do have spirit on the chest piece and amulet. So depending where you're at, you can probably skip Wind Dancer, but this has helped me a lot. So this helps a lot when you're casting Profane Ritual in a pack of mobs, waiting for the charges to get to you. This will proc on mobs and basically knock them away, if you will. No knockback, right? This right here, this part. That's really good. Cast on Shock, if you're strong with mana, I said it in the guide, you can use this on single target only. You can turn it off for the maps. And there is a little bug with, oh my god. There is a little bug with minions, I'll talk about it later on the weapon swap. Conductivity for lowering resistances, lightning, Volt-like mark, so it magnifies the shock and also just overall amazing stuff. Easier to get shock proc on targets. Curse stuff for more effect, and here like a little AoE, so this is even good. I have it for mapping on as well, because this is making the curse being like an AoE. So if there are mobs together, clumped together, it's gonna proc on them, so it's pretty good. Inspiration here, 40% less cost, but I will probably put Eye of Winter to apply crit weakness on the target. I think Eye of Winter would be much better, for sure. Now we can see me having Cast on Shock level 10. That's because, and not even quality. Quality makes it so you get more energy. The reason why I don't have this is because it's pretty wild for mana on single target. You can see it in the boss footage. It drained my mana pretty fast, so that's why I have it on level 10. You don't need higher level, so you can if you want, up to you. Profane Ritual, here we want to get Profusion to get additional charge. Unleash, so it has like 2 extra casts. It doesn't only have 1 circle on 1 minion, it has like the extra 2, so you can only cast one once and you can get like power charges, 5 power charges, excuse me. Sometimes even 7. We got Intense Agony and Fast Forward. This will reduce the skill effect duration, so it procs more often, which is right here. Right now I have to wait 0.9 seconds for the charge, for the ritual to finish. You can see the gems do a lot here. Intense Agony as well. And Arcane Temple for faster cast speed. And this will go well, super well with the Arcane Surge from the Ascendancy, like already explained. I'll show you. It gives you cast speed multiplicative again. So people have like 35% and mana regen. Next up we got Grim Feast, another aura. This will double your energy shield if you eat those souls from killed minions or mobs. And Skill the Warrior and Sacrifice should be active on your weapon swap number 2. I don't know why it swapped again. It's sometimes kinda... Oh, there we go. Sometimes it kinda bugs out. So how you set it on weapon sets. Weapon set 1 is my Quarterstaff, the main weapon set. So you want to proc it on... so Cast and Shock, Grim Feast, Wind Dancer, and Herald of Thunder. You want to add them on number 1. And Skill the Warrior and Sacrifice, you want to add them on number 2, which is with weapon... I mean, with Skill the Warrior is like... how much spirit do you have left, and Sacrifice right here. So if I weapon swap, I can go even higher finally, It unbugged. Finally, it unbugged. That's crazy. So yeah, right now I have like 40 minions. So I mean, if I cast this once, I'm getting a lot of charges. You can see I got 6 charges right here. It's almost the cap, right? So I would always use it for the charge step right here. Then I would swap back again, use it twice for the flicker, and then I'll just start flickering. You want to get 7, obviously, but yeah. I had a bug where I had 300 spirit on weapon set 2, and it showed exclamation mark that I have no spirit. You know what was the cause? I had to equip everything piece by piece, and then equip everything back piece by piece, and it unbugged. I was able to add them to weapon set 2. Super weird. I tried every swaps. I tried everything. You can see that even bugs out on weapon set 1. You always have to like manually decrease that. It's kind of weird how it works. But yeah, that will be the skill setup. Now quarterstaff, why I have it here? So we have some physical damage stuff. Doesn't really matter. The damage actually is not too bad. We do more damage here physical. So adding stuff like splinter, breaking armor, is break armor. With each attack, you know break some armor, decrease the armor on the target, which is not bad at all because we do some physical as well on the flicker. But this is not really the case. We get some rage on it as well. Martial tempo and heavy swing. I use this in between waiting for, when I cast Profane Ritual, you wait for charges. So I would just cast Profane Ritual and do a little little strike here to kill some of the mobs around you or stun them basically, because the stun buildup isn't too bad either on normal mobs and whatnot. So this comes super handy as well. Or in Breach, for example, right? Has saved me many times while I was waiting for charges for Flicker. Surrounded by mobs, I just Profane Ritual cast and then Quarterstaff attack 1, 2, or 2 times and knock them back and whatnot. So that's good stuff. On the passive tree, so starting here, we get some energy shield stuff. Go through here, we get some stun threshold, which is pretty important as well as we're running Chaos Ejaculation, CI. Next up, we get some more energy shield. Reduce mana doesn't really matter that much. We get some crit chance here, which is very important. Again, I'm at 62% right now on the flicker. My weapon has pretty good crit. Next up, another crit stuff in here. I went down for some attack speed, main stat, but mainly for the energy shield and evasion, which is good. Now, these small notes, it all depends on your setup. I have just enough dexterity to be able to get level 20 gems here. The flicker strike, not this one, Alvin Dancer, excuse me. 178, I believe I can get, that was for level 20, I believe, or 19, something like that. So that's why I have it like in this number. And it's also, it kind of depends, again, on your setup. So because with this dexterity and intelligent scaling, you have breakpoints for, like, I recommend just taking a look at the number here. Probably a flicker strike and just determine which one is the best. So this all depends on you. Next up, we got the big crit and crit damage here. I also want to go for this bad boy for more crit and damage, which is very strong. Moving on, some defensives here. We got Spectral Ward. The best body armor for this is not pure evasion. I found a hybrid like this be the best, evasion and energy shield. Up top, we get some crit chance here. Very good. CI. You don't have to play this, by the way. You don't have to play this. But I like the quality of life of not looking at chaos resistance on the gear. But to be fair, I do have a build, like 2 builds with like 10% chaos resistance. That can do no problem tier 16, 17 maps. So, but it's really nice to ignore the chaos balls when you're doing ritual. Now these points really up to you. On my next level, I'm gonna put 1 point in forthcoming, but this is up to you. You can put these points in damage points. Down here, this is very important. 2 extra power charges and give you a crit damage bonus. 60%. Hello. More crit damage here. This cluster is very good, so this will the skills that consume power charges count as consuming additional power charge. This is amazing for both charge staff and flicker strike. Goes hand in hand. Some not defenses, some crit damage here again. Next up here, some evasion stuff, dexterity, another attack speed scaling from dexterity is Falcon Technique. A big cluster for crit damage, crit chance, good stuff as well. This is super good. And down here, I went acceleration for movement speed, but also skill speed. Skill speed counts as attack speed and cast speed, so this will also apply to your Profane Ritual, so this is very good. For Anoint, I went with Overwhelming Strike because that's crit chance, crit damage, and stun buildup. We do everything, so stun buildup is pretty insane with its ability on bosses. It's really sick. I don't have a key for Xesh tier 4. I would love to show you. I would love to maybe on the next video, because this is like the first version or like this something I came up with, Flicker Strike, that feels very smooth and comfortable. But yeah, this is the breach points I have. Again, this is in the planner mobilitics, full Atlas setup, some Delirium stuff, and this is some Atlas points, map boss difficulty and whatnot. Onto the Ascendancy, like I already described before, but I'm gonna show you as well. We got some reason. Stormweaver is the double shock here, so right now I'm at 85% increased damage to shock targets. Wonderful. All your hits contribute to shock chance, so you have the debuff up non-stop, even on rares and just all mobs. Next 2 points, you can see I'm missing 4 points actually. At level 90, I forget about this totally. So I'm gonna put elemental damage, pretty good damage increase, because we do quite a good chunk of lightning. Exposure from Quarterstaff will reduce the resistances by additional 20%. So that will be pretty juicy. We are at 26% right now, so we should be at around 46%. I'm not sure if strip away actually applies to this passive as well, but because it's the exposure effect is increased by 30%, so we'll see about that. And last 2 points, Arcane Search, again, cast speed, amazing for Profane Ritual. This will just speed things up by a lot. Combined with the Arcane Tempo support gem or at Profane Ritual, amazing. And Mana Regen as well for sustain. Now, when it comes to jewels, I have 2 Timeless Rubies, mainly for the Rage on hit. Notable passes, which are the big ones, give you 1 Rage on melee hit, so I have 2 of them. That's 2 Rage on hit. Here is also 2 Rage on hit. So that's 4 per hit of Flicker Strike, so I'm reaching 30 Rage, which is the cap, in no time. And you can also get stun threshold on a jewel like this, which is pretty good, pretty damn good. But I have only 3 points in here, so that's nothing too crazy. I would want to go down here for big damage as well, because this does increase the damage quite a lot. And this is lightning damage by 50% when you have Herald of Thunder. And right now my Flicker does a bigger chunk of lightning than physical, if you will. So this will be good damage increase. I need to get some points there. I might shuffle some around, we'll see about that. I might even drop this up top once I get the cast speed here. And I don't know, we'll see. Next, other jewels we have. So for the blue ones, which I have like 3 or 2, I do have 3. You want to focus on crit damage, crit chance, energy shield increase, energy shield stun threshold. You can do elemental damage. So it's kind of up to you what is available to you. Next up is right here. Freeze buildup, I have nothing, so that's useless. Spell damage, also useless. I don't have any of those. I will probably get a jewel here as well, because these ones are real insane. I do have good blue jewels on my other character, but I didn't trade them yet. Another one I have is actually pretty important, so Megalomaniac Diamond. I really recommend getting one with at least a lust for power. This is pretty good, increases max power charges, and you have a chance of gaining all power charges at once. 5% chance is really low. It's more like a clutch or QOL, quality of life. Nothing too crazy. If you don't have that, you can honestly just go for this one. You know, this 3-point investment. This will also give you +1 power charge and gives you another crit damage. That's really good, actually, really good. And the other one here, I have Quick Change Act. This is weapon swap speed, which is another quality of life, not really needed from this one. So pretty cheap, like it's 1 divine, I believe even. Yeah, I believe we covered about everything. Oh, the gear, of course. So Quarterstaff here, physical percentage, flat physical, attack speed, and crit. Those are the 4 mains you should look forward to. Another option is to get Pillar of the Cage God and just stack strength. And I recommend Corruption. That gives you 12% weapon damage per 5 strength. I will try to find it, but I believe it's on my other character, the Falling Thunder Titan. There we go, that's the one. You want to look for this bad boy, Corrupted. And then a stack attack speed. Sorry, stack strength. But that's, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Ring here, flat physical, flat lightning, good stuff. I can recommend it. Then attribute, resistances, mana. That kind of goes for all gear. Hand of Wisdom, again in the planner, I'll say or write what you should go for if you don't have these uniques. At peace, if possible, corrupted with max power charge. If not, you can get the passive I just talked about. Here you can get some rarity. This is pretty good for drops. Amulet, crit chance, crit damage. Oh, I actually have both here. I forgot. All attributes, pretty important as well. Spirit, energy shield increase. Don't forget to apply quality on the items. Ingenuity here, this will buff the rings even further if you don't have it. Again, I wrote in the planner what you should go for. The boot, pretty straightforward as well. Movement speed, #1 priority. Then resistance is what you need. Max mana. I wish I could have intelligence instead of the freeze, but I don't have that. So even here, I wish I could have intelligence instead of rarity. That would be insane damage increase for both. Because of Hand of Wisdom. That would be crazy. The charm, I really like to use cannot be stunned. This one is amazing. And what I recommend, which is also in the path of building, I recommend in Act 2, Titan Valley, right here. Where is it at? It's always like, Valley of Titans, there is this shrine where you can choose either better recovery from mana or potions, depending on normal or cruel. From flasks, or get some charm duration or recovery, something like that. So I recommend getting charge stuff, which I need to change because that's amazing. A health potion doesn't really matter, but if you want to use health potion, you can put point in Eternal Youth, which will basically recover energy shield instead of life. So we can totally get this one. I might actually put it here because that would save me from a lot of deaths I've had. Mana potion, we mostly use or almost always use mana when we're out of mana after flickering, so getting this affix more recovery when used on low on mana, that's pretty good. It's like 30% mana, 35. And the weapon swap, you want to get Scepter with increased spirit, and you want to get, I guess, level 2 minions is not bad either, because the higher levels for minions, the less spirit they require when you reserve them. So then the more you can get, and the better, easier it is to get charges. But yeah, that would be pretty much it. The full build once again on Mobilitics with Path of Building on the right side. And the rotation, again, before bosses or map, you want to use Weapon Swap with Profane Ritual, get charges. Get 7 of them, get Power Charge Staff, then swap again. Cast it 1 or 2 or 3 times, get full of them, and just start flickering. And then during fight on corpses, use Profane Ritual from Weapon Set 1. And easy life. Amazing for map farming. I'm definitely gonna visit this build in the next patch, 0.2 in Path of Exile 2, right? And yeah, if you guys have any questions, hit me up live on Twitch or YouTube or in the comment section. I will be more than happy to help you with anything. And you guys have a good one. Take it easy. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, have a good one and peace.